This is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Talon Mix. It's a Smallville recap podcast that, you know what? Doesn't even matter if you've seen an episode of Smallville. It don't. I'm Brian, here as always with Zach. Hi, Zach.
It doesn't matter on any level, whether you're listening to this podcast or not, whether you've seen an episode of Smallville.
I guess truly
doesn't matter.
In the grand scheme of things, in most places, it doesn't matter if you've seen an episode of Smallville. Maybe if you were a regular on Smallville, it'd maybe be weird if you had never seen an episode of Smallville. But even then, probably haven't seen most of them.
Maybe like if you are a member of the Writing 23 class of Vancouver Film School in 2006, 2007, and you're friends with Brian and Zach, and you haven't seen Smallville, you might be a little bit of an outcast.
Yeah.
But
in our very cool club, very exclusive,
our cool two-person club.
Oh man, Zach, how you been? How was your week? You watch anything good?
Yeah. I mean, it was the final week of October 2022, so I just kept watching horror movies.
Hell yeah.
Usually when I do that, by the time I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to watch something else. And now I'm like, I still kind of want to watch horror movies.
I'm still kind of I've been watching horror movies since about August, and I'm like, keep them coming. I have a big list.
But I'm like, should I save some for next October? I mean,
that's the thing about horror is the list keeps going. It's like it never really.
Well, especially now. I mean, it's one of the few things that makes money that's not, a big Marvel thing. Like it's cheap and they make a lot of money. So
right. But
we're gonna get horror. We're gonna keep getting horror.
It never truly goes away. There's a lot of like horror subgenres. There's a lot of room to explore in horror that doesn't go away.
And as the world gets more horrifying, something tells me we're not going to get less horror movies.
Yeah, we're going to keep needing that catharsis, I think.
Okay, so I watched a little gem called A Nightmare on Elm Street. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, wow. You've seen it before, right?
Yeah, but not high school. It was the last time I saw it.
Got it. How was revisiting
high school? It like really fucked me up.
Did it?
Yeah, because I just something about someone who can get to you in your sleep really fucks with me.
Sure.
So that bothered me. Have you seen it recently?
Last time I saw it was probably like after college, but not super recently. At the time I kind of didn't do much for me. I didn't not like it, but it certainly didn't scare me. The imagery certainly didn't stick in my brain.
Yeah. This time it didn't really affect me much in terms of scaring me. Great concept though. What a great concept for a horror movie. The idea that you can't fall asleep. Like you just if you fall asleep, you're going to get killed by dream monster.
Right. Great. Perfect. Can't beat it.
Yeah.
Who was a dream monster, who was mainly a saucy pervert who would be largely marketed to children throughout the 80s.
Yeah. A child murderer who is strongly hinted at is also a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would assume if he's killing children.
Yep.
Usually one goes with the other. Yeah.
A lot of children's Freddy Krueger costumes, though.
I love there's parts in the movie. So if you haven't watched it or if you haven't seen it for a while, the main character, she's a teenager in high school. She starts dreaming. All her friends and her dream about the same weird looking guy. And her parents killed this guy a long time ago. She doesn't know that, but because he was a child murderer who got off. The justice system let him off. And so the parents basically killed him and burned him alive. And that's why he's got the scars. But it's like an hour plus in the movie before her parents admit, like, yeah, we know the guy who's showing up in your dreams. Like, she's like talking about Fred Krueger, and the mom's like, oh, I don't know. That's definitely not the pedophile we all killed. Definitely not.
No, not that one. No.
It's I think it's a lot of fun. My big problem, aside from some really cheesy 80s performances, is the rules kind of get muddled in the last, like, 25 minutes. And I know dreams don't really have rule, but like when you're creating this kind of, in order to have suspense, there has to be rules.
Yes, that's a great point.
Yes, and in the final half hour or whatever, the big final climax, I thought they just like lost it in terms of, I was like, I don't know what can happen or what can't happen, and not in a good way.
Sure.
But it's still, I think it's a classic. It's like, it's a fun one, and I actually kind of want to watch the sequels now.
I have not seen many of the sequels. What I
haven't seen any.
Oh, okay, yeah. What I have seen, and what I recently watched again, was Freddy versus Jason, which I have made fun of on this show before.
Not at all problematic.
No. It was we got together with another couple who we used to live with, and still managed to stay friends, which is crazy. But we were at their place, and we were looking for like a Halloween movie to watch, and my buddy Willie was like, I haven't seen Freddy versus Jason. I'm like, put it on. Put it on. So I when I watched it a couple of months ago, it was kind of a slog to watch myself. With people and beers, and like,
right.
you can kind of just talk over the boring parts and then kind of get back in when it gets funny. I had a delightful time with it. I think it's about as good as a Freddy versus Jason movie probably could have been.
Freddy versus Jason was a movie that everyone was asking for, but no one really wanted.
No.
No, once you start watching, you're like, oh no, I didn't want this.
No, this is nothing.
This could never have been very good.
Right, exactly.
Unlike Alien versus Predator, which I think was like, should have been a easy win, and they fucked up. But
right.
Freddy versus Jason, I'm like, I'm good. So have you ever seen New Nightmare? I hear that's actually good.
That is, I know the gist of it. That's the meta one, right?
Right. Yeah.
No, I've never seen it.
Pre-Scream meta movie.
Right. That the idea there is that Wes Craven, by making the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, has been containing Freddy Krueger, the very real Freddy Krueger, and he manages to break out of the film world and terrorize Wes Craven and the actress who played Nancy, which is very funny.
That's a creative way to keep the series going. I mean, that's great.
Yes.
That's great. Let's do that with Halloween. I don't know how, but let's do something like that. Jamie Lee Curtis has been keeping Michael Myers.
There you go.
Contained. Okay, so after that, I watched a movie that I had never heard of before. Do you have the Criterion Channel?
Not anymore, but I did.
One of their movies in their horror selection was a movie called The Hidden from 1987.
I don't know that.
I wouldn't really call it a horror movie. It's more of like a sci-fi action. But it's a lot of fun. It's a fun concept. And I can't believe they haven't remade it already. So basically it's a alien that basically it's like a worm that enters people's mouths and then takes over their bodies. But so like if he finds a new person, he leaves that, he just bounces around from person to person. It's kind of a Men in Black type situation.
Sure.
A cop is investigating murders. He doesn't know there's an alien, and then an FBI agent who seems to know what's going on and may or may not be an alien himself joins forces. Buddy comedy, action.
That sounds great.
Catch the alien. Yeah, it's fun. It was fun. Solid B.
Hell yeah.
Then I watched Barbarian.
I also watched Barbarian this week. Man, where'd you land on it?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know that it had like a big overarching theme. I thought it was more like he would write, whoever wrote it was like writing it and said every 20 pages is like, where could I just turn this like that no one would see coming.
I thought
A lot of
thematically it was
ideas.
actually pretty. I would actually disagree with you. I thought it was. I thought there was some kind of strong theme in the imagery of like kind of that A24-esque like men being bad beneath the surface kind of stuff, you know.
Certainly, yes. Yeah, that's true. Yes.
But
That's fair.
I thought it's directed by, God, I'm blanking on his name. It's Zach something. He was a part of the troupe, Zach Krieger. He was part of his last film. This was not a debut. His last film was the 2009 comedy Miss March. And we haven't seen him since then. He was part of the Whitest Kids You Know, which was a sketch comedy group. I believe they were on IFC, which was a good show. And I love it when a comedy guy takes a swing into horror and like kind of nails it.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, so it's one kind of movie for a little while. Spoilers for Barbarian. I'm not going to go into huge detail, but I think anything is probably a spoiler with that movie.
Yeah,
it starts as one kind of movie, and then about 35 minutes in, it becomes a different kind of movie, and then it kind of becomes another kind of. I liked all of the movies. I guess Justin Long, fantastic performance as a total sleazeball.
Yes, I like him a lot.
When he finds the secret torture dungeon and then is excited about the square footage, I laughed out loud. That's amazing.
Yeah, there are a couple of moments where it seems like potentially they're gonna try to swerve that character a little bit, and then he does the funniest thing possible, I think, given the opportunity every single time.
Yeah, I do love their like. For a second, I'm like, oh, they're gonna give this guy an arc, and I'm like, I don't feel good about that.
Right. What they do extremely works. I will say, I do think I unambiguously I liked the movie. I think it's a good movie. I think you gave it like 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. I don't give stars, but I'd agree with you. I do have this like dropping feeling of like, I feel like I was a little overhyped on it. I feel like I was ready to I think I was ready to see something that was going to kind of blow my mind more than what I saw. And I can't, that's not the movie's fault, but I can't shake that.
I think what it is the big thing was how unpredictable it is. And even I just mentioned kind of that, but it's just a good, well-written story.
Right.
Like, I think it is a testament to how, what's the word? Cliche, unoriginal, predictable. That's the word. How predictable most movies are.
Yeah, definitely.
That this movie is making people go like, oh my God, it's insane.
Right. Yes. That's an incredibly good point. I kind of feel like, I talk about It Follows often as a movie that got really under my skin, of just viscerally like spooked me out. But when I talk about It Follows to a lot of people, they're kind of like, yeah, it was good. I'm not having the reaction you had to it. That's kind of how I feel about this one. I'm like, yeah, it's good.
Barbarian is one that I'm really mad that I didn't go see in the theater because
sure. Yeah, I wish I did too.
Those there's a lot of darkness in the movie, like literally. There's tunnels and stuff, and those did not I can't think of words then. I'm sorry, it's terrible podcasting. The resolution, for whatever reason, on my TV wasn't great with the darks.
Interesting.
Colors.
Yeah, sure.
And so those scenes did not hit me as much as I know they would have, because claustrophobia fucks me up.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah. So. But it was still, I could tell it was really good. I mean, solid, fun movie.
Yeah. One shot I was really impressed with is there is in one of the movies, in one of the turns, there's a bit where a man in a car is following someone else, and you can kind of just very subtly watch its sort of center frame in the driver's side window from inside the car as he's following this other person. And I thought that was fantastic. There was a lot of
that whole little segment was creepy.
Weird. A whole segment was creepy and like weirdly subtle in like ways I don't want to get too into. He could have made much more exploitative choices in this movie and didn't. And I think the movie's better for it. As much as I love exploitative crap, I think this movie's better for the restraint, the surprising amount of restraints it shows, considering there are ogre titties.
I was going to say, yeah, that's true, but also there's a mutant ogre woman. I also like the shot. It's early on. I think it's probably in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler. When the main character is waiting outside that house, she's locked out. It's raining. It's nighttime, and then she realizes, pans across all the other houses in the neighborhood, and she realizes no lights are on.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, that's not a good sign.
Right.
What is that about? Because you can't really see the houses. You just see the kind of the shape of them, and the lights are off.
And that pays off great the next day. There's also like some subtle visual stuff I really like. No, I guess not subtle's not quite the right word. Some clever visual stuff of the main character gets stuck in a situation where she is locked in a situation. She's stuck. And they need to show that she does not have her phone. And what they could have done was have her pat her pocket and in dialogue go, "My phone."
Right.
And instead it cuts to a quick like zoom in of a phone. You know, it's her sitting on some stairs, a quick zoom in to the other room where her phone is on a thing, and then she pats her pockets, and we immediately know like what information has just been conveyed. I thought it was great. I don't know if I would have thought to have done it that way, and I thought it was great.
Visual storytelling.
Yeah. Who would have guessed? Hey, Marvel.
My phone. Oh no, the thing in my pockets is gone, which was my phone.
You see, he used moving images to tell the story. I liked it. There's a lot to like in that movie.
Yes, I would watch it again. Certainly.
Nice.
So then I watched on Halloween. I watched a movie called Halloween, 1978.
Nice, great.
You and I could and will talk for several hours about it.
And start the clock.
Yeah. Always fun to watch. Just real quick, is Dr. Sam Loomis the worst psychiatrist of all time?
Yes.
He's literally out there trying to murder his child patient, his former child patient. He's like, we got to shoot this guy.
And he'll do that for 8 more movies of just coming into town like, listen, we got to kill this guy.
I had 16 years to try to fix him or make some kind of progress. I did not. And now he's escaped. I think we just got to shoot him.
And you know what? He's right.
Maybe another doctor, maybe get another voice in there.
No. Gun.
He's pure evil. Pure evil.
Shoot him in the head with a gun.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I never seen before the movie Insidious. I watched that.
Oh, nice. That is the James Wan one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It was like his first non-torture porn.
Right.
Kind of it was solid. It was good scares. I can't believe it only cost $1.5 million to make.
Right. That's one I remember like really getting under my skin in like that first act, early second act. It kind of, like a lot of horror, it loses momentum for me when they start explaining things. Right.
It's almost like the unexplained is scarier than the explained.
Always is. That said, I believe that is the beginning of the like James Wan, Patrick Wilson? Is it Patrick Wilson?
Yeah, Patrick Wilson, yeah.
Collaborations. And that is one of my favorite like Hollywood bromances of Patrick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've only seen the other 2 Conjurings and this Insidious, but they were all solid. Have we talked about the Conjuring movies?
I'm sure.
They're fun, and I should just suck it up, but the fact that they're based on real con artists bothers me because the movies like make them out to be these fucking saints, man.
No, I don't think
Saints.
so. I mean, I think it turns them into Marvel superheroes, but
Right.
Oh, who
Right,
cares?
and they're-
Oh, who were the Warrens hurting? Who were they conning aside from people who wanted to buy a spooky book?
I mean, now we're conning millions of people who are like, yeah, the Warrens.
No one thinks that. No one. Literally watch one interview with them and you have to, literally, they were mostly on daytime television, let's be clear. They were on Sally Jesse Raphael, peak fucking news. Mostly just talking out their buttholes. If you were conned, you have to be a little dumb. It was...
You could say that about some other con artists that have really affected us in the recent history.
But they didn't take people's money. They only quote unquote took people's money in like, we wrote a spooky book. So you still got a spooky book out of the situation. It's fine. I officially give them the Brian Miller. The Warrens are fine. Also, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are my hot goth parents. It's great.
Oh no, they're great. Both actors, great actors, great on-screen couple. No complaint there.
In Annabelle Comes Home, Patrick Wilson wears a little party hat because no one came to his daughter's birthday, and it's great.
Is he a major character in that movie?
There's for lack of a better word, it's kind of a wraparound segment. They have a bit in the beginning, they have a bit in the end.
Great.
Annabelle Comes Home, I think if I saw it 13, I would have really liked. And I thought it was a perfectly fine PG-13 for kids horror movie.
That's
for lack of a better word.
That's great. Little gateway horror.
That's exactly what it was. There's a couple of creepy little bits, but it's nothing. You know what is pretty good is Annabelle Creation. Yeah, that was it. There's Annabelle, which is not good. Annabelle Creation, which is pretty good. And then Annabelle Comes Home, which was cute.
Annabelle Creation. Okay, so the second one is the best of the Annabelle movies.
Yes. I would like. Granted, I watched it at like midnight. Spooked me out a little bit. I forget the director. The director has done something since then that was good, and it was like a guy who has made good movies since then getting his feet wet in an established franchise.
Cool.
Speaking of that, also watched. Have you heard of the Ouija franchise of films based on the Hasbro game Ouija?
Wait, is it an official tie-in with Hasbro?
Oh, Ouija is a trademarked toy. Let's.
Oh no, I didn't know it was a Hasbro. That's amazing. Good for them. They've been trying to like make a Monopoly movie happen for years.
Oh,
I'm like, just fuck off. But that's great. That's smart, Ouija. I haven't seen them, but it's Mike Flanagan, right?
The first one I believe has like 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is not good. It's the second one. Ouija Origin of Evil. I have not seen the first one, but we watched Ouija Origin of Evil, which is Mike Flanagan, a mid-ish Mike Flanagan. And you know what? Really liked it. I really liked it. I wouldn't say it's really good, but a perfectly good little like late night spookorama movie.
I remember seeing the trailer for that, I think in the theater, and thinking, first of all, I didn't know there was a Ouija one. And then second of all, that movie looks pretty creepy, and I don't know why a movie like that would actually look really creepy. So
frequently effectively creepy, but in like a fun haunted house, like my wife and I on the couch, like, don't go in that room, you idiot, kind of horror movie, you know?
Great.
Kind of heavy on the jump scares, but like a fun popcorn horror. A good 13 to 15-year-olds at a sleepover. And, we'll probably scare the parent, too, if there's one in the room.
Sounds like a terrible sleepover.
Yeah, right.
You guys can watch the horror movie, but I have to watch with you.
Yeah, that would suck.
To explain to you the adult element.
Sue me. I haven't been to a sleepover in a long time. I don't remember how they work.
I'm sure that happens.
I remember in like first grade having sleepovers at my best friend Jonathan's house, and his dad would read the subtitles on Jabba the Hutt for Return of the Jedi.
That's helpful. That's just helpful.
Yeah, right? Let's see. Watch anything else?
No, that was it.
That about covered me too. I have a quick movie-related question. My wife and I entered a sort of like office pool movie stuff for the end of the year. It's taking into account box office, Rotten Tomato scores, and awards. I believe this will go through till February, till right before the Oscars. So, and then like whoever gets like the highest score of what we had like a quote unquote like fictional money pool that we could use to buy movies.
So can you like say you and Emily are in different, you're separate, right?
We were just teaming. It's her for her office, but we're
okay.
Yeah.
Let's say someone else from the office. Can two people have the same movie is my question, or is it like a draft where like if you get Avatar, no one else can
Two people could have the same movie. Okay. You have your budget, and you can spend that however you want. However, several movies are different values.
Right, of course. So Avatar is like really expensive.
Exactly.
And then,
so we got like an expensive one, and then we loaded up on a bunch of like cheaper ones.
Right.
My question I'm positing towards you is, and like we made our decision. We don't, but like we'll find out. For our big one, Avatar's what we went with.
That's the choice.
Would you have gone with Black Panther? Wakanda Forever.
We
sat on this. We picked Avatar, but we sat on this one forever.
What does awards count? Like, do technical categories count?
There's awards? A list, and there are several technical ones on that.
Because Avatar is going to clean up in the technical stuff,
right?
Obviously,
it has to.
It's going to make insane amount of money.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
I know, and that's the thing. You don't bet against it. You don't bet against James Cameron.
No, it's just going to. I'm sure it's going to be.
That's literally what we're not doing. We are literally putting our money on James Cameron.
The only big problem is that 3-hour fucking runtime they just announced. But I do think people are going to go out to check it out. I think people are going to see it.
Yeah. But man, Black Panther, it's. There's no way that's going to happen again, right?
If Chadwick Boseman was in it, then I think it's more of a slam dunk. But I'm sure it'll be good. It's all talented people.
Yeah, but like I don't know, man. That Marvel shit is like.
Also, Marvel's Part 2s don't have a great track record, right?
Interesting. No, Doctor Strange too. Sorry, got to bring it out of the vault.
Oh, yeah.
That made fucking money.
Open the vault. No, but in terms of like critical acclaim, which is
sure. Doctor Strange 2 was pretty good, I think.
Iron Man 2, Thor 2, not good. Not good.
That's all. I think that all gets attributed to Phase 2 though, which is
right.
Welcome to fucking Marvel bullshit. I don't know. I'm not. It's like ultimately we were happy to like if we were gonna go wrong, we were happy to not bet on Marvel.
How much did they cost? Were they the same amount of money?
I believe they were both like $45 of our $100 budget.
Then you got to go Avatar.
Yeah, I mean we did.
That movie will play every country in the world the same.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like, are you taking worldwide box office?
I don't actually know. I'm sure it was listed. We didn't pay attention.
So what were the smaller movies?
I mean, it's everything coming out was on the table. We hedged some like Lightyear was $5. We figured we'd pick up Best Animated. I forget what did we oh God, I forgot everything else we picked up. But like everything was there that's coming out.
So it was any movie for the whole year. Like you could have bought movies that already came out.
Yes, but you didn't get their box office totals unless they were to be re-released.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
but
so it's kind of
cheaper.
What's that?
they should have been cheaper then at that point.
I believe they were. So like Maverick,
Okay.
there's like kind of no point to getting like Top Gun Maverick at this point. Like
Right,
this is
yeah.
primarily like an Oscar awards like kind of thing. But
Gotcha.
box office plays in and is worth points. And
Do you think Maverick's gonna get a nomination?
No,
Yeah.
but who knows? You know.
I think, yeah, it would depend on how Avatar and Black Panther do. Because if there's already one like crowd favorite in there, they're not also going to put.
No,
Top
there
Gun
will
Maverick
just
in.
be one big blockbuster.
Yeah. And if Maverick had, if the awards came out in the summer, Maverick would have had it. But
no,
that,
I think Maverick's
that died down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else we snatched up. I don't. We we labored over Elvis. I don't remember if we picked it.
What? Elvis is not going to win awards. Oh, like costumes and shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Production
Is the
design.
thing. Like, here's the thing. It's not about picking good movies. It's about picking basic. Not that Elvis is a basic fucking movie. It's apparently batshit insane. I haven't seen it. We eventually picked Elvis, I think, because we labored over it. It turned into a lot of like, Elvis, no, unless.
I
Literally
feel like
just
Baz Luhrmann, he gets a lot of awards.
I'm doing dishes. Emily's at her computer putting in the things, and we're literally like just yelling at each other, like, no, well, in alternating like, and we finally decided to like throw it on there because it wasn't expensive. It wasn't one of the expensive ones, and if it did happen to get some fucking stupid awards after all of that deliberation, if we had decided not to. If it doesn't, if we lose with Elvis, we know what we did. But if Elvis does snatch some stuff up, we'll literally never forgive ourselves.
How much was the Spielberg biopic movie?
That one we did. I don't remember what it was. We didn't end up going for it.
Well, I don't think it's going to make a lot of money.
I don't think so either. So yeah, we didn't go for it. That was not certainly in like the 45 tier, but that was like the next one down, maybe in like the 20 something tier.
Oh fuck! You said Rotten Tomatoes score. How much is that worth?
I don't know exactly how these balance out.
Oh, because Rotten Tomatoes score, like you definitely want to take Black Panther then, because
yeah.
Like if everyone gives that a B minus, it'll be 95%.
Yeah,
right?
fuck Avatar. Who knows?
I have a feeling Avatar is going to get very good reviews.
I think you don't bet against the fucking Cam, man.
You don't. I'm just going to keep betting on him until he fucks me over. Because...
when will be the time? It's got
yeah.
Even Cameron at this point has said in interviews, we saw the first like chink in the armor. Cameron has said like, I don't know, maybe it won't do well. We won't get to make the others.
He's probably just like doesn't want to jinx it.
Right.
Maybe it'll be terrible. Maybe I've spent like 15 years making new technology and coming up with this story, and it's gonna suck.
It's like, man, Avatar's one of Cameron's worst movies, I think. It's on the lower end of his filmography, and it's still pretty good.
Oh, yeah. No, I've only saw it the once in theaters, and I was like, yeah, that was really good. The difference between that and his better movies is that I wasn't immediately like, oh, I need to see that again.
No, I remember seeing Terminator 2 for the first time, and I was a little older when I saw Terminator 2 for the first time. I was in like high school, and it was just like one of those like, oh, this is a fucking movie.
Yeah, dude. He's made two of the greatest action movies and sequels, and they're both Aliens and Terminator 2. They're just fucking fantastic. I could watch those movies anytime. And I know other people felt differently about Avatar, where they did want to see it right away because it was such an experience, and that's great.
Right. But like, it's interesting. It's been what'll be interesting is I feel like culturally we're all pretty cold on it. Of like hasn't like the characters aren't particularly memorable. There wasn't like a standout like I think all of the action is sufficiently like it's James Cameron, it's very well done, but there isn't like a set piece that stands out to me.
No. I don't remember what happens in the movie. I remember the basics. I remember the basics.
I know
and
they were
blue.
blue.
Think I'm gonna rewatch it before I see the new one.
No. So upon hearing that I'm excited for a new James Cameron movie more than I am to Return to Pandora.
Yes. Yeah.
But, it's like as cold and as lukewarm as I've kind of felt on it. Like I saw that fucking trailer and I'm like, shit, I'm going to see that fucking movie.
Of course. Of course. I do wish he would make movies that took place in the real world again. Like I hope he gets back to that before it's all said and done.
I mean, I think it's all Avatar from here on out. It's James Cameron has hit the point where like he doesn't, and it's crazy because he's the best at them. He's very extremely good at making movies. This guy is literally just like, I'm just making these so I can like fund going underwater.
Right, yeah.
Which is what I want to do. I want to be in a submarine. I want to be a fish. I want to fund. I just want to make enough money to fund my spaceship to the beautiful planet of Pandora, while I will spend the remainder of my years in its beautiful crystal blue oceans, where I will take on the form of an avatar. Should we get on to Smallville?
It's like Tom Cruise is like, I'm gonna make all these movies so that I can risk my life in these crazy fucking ways, be exhilarated.
Yes.
And also so I can save cinema? Question mark? Dot.
It's working, I think.
We need Tom Cruise to make 4 movies a year to save cinema.
Please, Tommy.
Tommy.
I'm willing to forgive everything.
I will become a Scientologist.
Tommy will do it. He doesn't want us. They want people who make a lot more money than us.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're turning us away. We don't have enough. Wait, we have too many Thetans or not enough Thetans? I can't remember how it works.
Too many Top Guns? We just show up at the Scientology office like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know how many Thetans we got, or if Thetans are a good thing or a bad thing. But Top Gun, good fucking movie.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy, howdy. Is it time to move on to Smallville? Okay, this week, we watched Forsaken. It's the 21st episode in the third season of Smallville, the 65th overall. It aired May 12th, 2004. We see this is the final episode of a major character. Well, I guess it's not...
I wonder who it is.
I guess it's not. It's the final regular appearance of.
Yes, they get one more guest appearance
many years from now.
Season 7.
Wow. I wonder who it could be, and like surely this will be the main A story of the episode, not relegated to like a couple scenes. A C story.
Bye, Pete.
C story.
Yeah, it really is. It's like the
I don't even think it's the B story.
No, it's not. No. Well, no, it might even be. Oh gosh, is it the D story? Because you got Lex Lionel is like a B story, right? Lana and her friend is probably the A story,
right?
Lana. I guess Lana is part of Pete in this one, so that would be C. Yeah, it would be the C story.
It barely inches into the C story.
Yeah. Very unceremonious.
Yeah.
Wave goodbye for our dear Pete Ross.
Boy, howdy. All right, so Lana is visiting Lex at the mansion when he gives her an upgraded first-class ticket to Paris. It's been a while since we watched Smallville. Lana is going to Paris. For school?
Yeah, like a study abroad program in the summer. And
right.
This episode starts out in Creeper territory, just firmly right in the middle of Creeper territory. It's the Luthor Mansion. It's dark except for the light of the fireplace. Lex and Lana are sitting really close to each other on the same side of the couch. Like there's 2 couches in there.
Yep, which is where people always sit.
they're on the same couch, and there's like 3 cushions in this couch, and they're 2 cushions right next to each
They're
other.
on the
Brian.
snuggle
There's not even a
cushions.
cushion in between. And Lex, the 23, 24-year-old billionaire, is giving the 17-year-old Lana
Generous. Season 3, they're juniors at this point.
Yeah. He's giving her a goodbye gift, which is a book, a French book or something. And then he's also giving her a first class ticket to France. Not good. Not great.
Good.
I
don't remember how my grooming song went, but here's where it goes.
It's very clearly supposed to be like a romantic. Obviously, they're not doing anything, but there's no mistaking.
It's still
for
bad.
Anyone what's going on there.
Right. Clark arrives and is surprised by Lana's presence, but she explains that she was just receiving some last-minute travel tips from Lex.
Yeah, so, does Lex has people, right, who work at the mansion who answer his door for him?
Not evidence, by the way. Everyone just walks right the fuck in.
Like, no one was like, hey, Lex, is it okay if Clark comes in? I know you're sitting on the same side of a couch with a 17-year-old girl in the dark right now.
Is the last person we saw working for Lex Darius, who fucking got shot?
Darius, who betrayed him? Maybe that's why he doesn't have anyone.
Yeah, there you go. Darius broke his heart, and he'll never trust again. She leaves, and Lex advises Clark that if he isn't willing to be honest with Lana and move forward with her, then he needs to step aside and let her get on with her life.
Let her get on to me is what he's saying to Clark, basically.
Literally.
Not literally, but I mean, I guess, yeah, literally. But I didn't mean it literally. Like, he's saying, stand out of the way, and I'm going to move in on Lana.
I, an adult man, I'm going to move in on your girl.
Yeah. You don't deserve her, 17-year-old. You are not mature enough.
Oh, boy. Emily Dinsmore, who we saw Emily Dinsmore was this season, right? Or was that last season?
No, it was the penultimate episode of last season also.
Wow.
I don't know why they're like, let's go back to that well.
Why do we like this one?
I remember that one was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like we had a string of good ones, and that one was like, oh. And This one is the same thing, except for at least the B and C stories are
There's
really good.
There's good stuff in this episode. And, like, don't get me wrong, I love Neil Flynn. But, like, what the fuck?
They bring him back literally to stab him again. That's literally the only... He comes back for 2 scenes and gets stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I wonder if it's just they were like, we have really big B and C storylines. We need a very simple, short...
That'd be my
week of the week.
Guess.
Let's just go back to this real quick. We don't have to do a lot of backstory.
I think that frequently is kind of the move.
Right.
Sorry, I just had to get my microphone back on its stand. Emily Dinsmore is in her bedroom, but it is revealed to be some sort of laboratory in which one of the walls is a 2-way mirror. A technician tells her that it is time for bed and shuts off the lights. Left alone, Emily simply walks through the walls. At a partially dismantled Talon, they bought... Did we cover that in the show where they were just selling off the Talon?
Yes. They sold the Talon in spite of Chloe's dad's offer with apparently the drug money he has or whatever the fuck he got that money. They sold the Talon off in the last episode we watched.
Seems extreme. She's going away for the summer.
I know. Yeah.
You're going away for the summer, and it's co-owned by a billionaire. How about you come back and see how you feel, Lana? You made a whole real big stink about getting the place.
Maybe it's not just the summer. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's supposed to be longer than that. I don't know.
Even still, I'm going to throw out there, a billionaire owns it. I think they can sit on the real estate for a little bit.
So they sell it, and like apparently the next day, they're like shut down, renovating.
Ole Burrito is in town. And residents are excited.
I mean, I guarantee someone in Smallville is like, fucking finally, get rid of that fucking coffee place and give me a good place to get a burrito.
It's all we've been asking for. We have coffee. We're a hardworking blue-collar people. We make our coffee at home.
Well, there's another coffee place right across the street or whatever, where season 1 where they hung out.
Gotta go all the way to fucking Metropolis to get the goddamn Ole Burrito. It's finally here. At the partially dismantled Talon, Mr. Kearns, the new owner, is working late when he encounters Emily. She tells him that he is ruining the coffee shop by changing it, and he mistakes her for Lana. He defends his actions, saying that she is the one who signed the papers. And, you know, I will say, he's much nicer to this crazy girl than I think most people would be showing up at his new business in the middle of the night. You know, a hardworking franchisee. Excited to start a business.
You ruined everything. It's like, what? I just bought this place from you. Go away.
Anyway, Emily Dinsmore kills him by sticking her hand straight through his chest. And now Smallville will never get an Ole Burrito.
Well, presumably someone is inheriting this place from him, right?
Does the Talon go away?
No.
I guess so.
I'm sure. I bet Lex just rebuys it.
There you go.
I mean, let's take bets right now. How do you think they get the Talon back into this place when Lana comes back in season 4?
Yeah, it seems like a Lex hand wave.
Yeah, Lex repurchases it. Yeah, that's my guess.
Though my guess would also just be because Ole Burrito guy died, the deal is just reneged.
It was in the contract.
Right. If you die through meteor freakery, insurance actually doesn't cover this. Anyway, I think that puts us at well, not that guy.
No.
He wishes. Nice job, Clark. Clark and Pete are playing basketball, and Pete tells him that his mother is moving to Wichita and admits that he's been avoiding his parents' divorce. He says he's going to stay in Smallville with his father so he doesn't miss out on senior year. Clark,
he said, I didn't go through 3 years of high school just to miss out on senior year. And I said, oh, Pete.
Peter.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, Peter.
That's famous last words. You just guaranteed your fate.
Yep.
No way I'm leaving town now.
I'm signing on for fucking 10 more years of Smallville. Clark admits that he is thinking about telling Lana his secret to prevent her from leaving. That day at school, Clark asks Lana if she wants to go to dinner. She doesn't think it's a good idea, but he explains that he wants to tell her something, and that he should have told her a long time ago. She accepts somewhat reluctantly.
We begin the first of many. Clark almost tells Lana his secret, but something terrible happens to make him change his mind. Storyline.
I will say, I think it's actually done pretty well in this one of we set up some stakes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But this is going to be a thing that happens a lot with both Lana and Lois. In the future.
I mean,
I should just tell her. It'll be okay. And then guess what, Brian?
It's not okay.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
And I guess Smallville is maybe like certainly ringing this storyline, but maybe Superman has also been ringing this story since the 1940s.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Arguably, this is the main Superman story.
Yes. Secret identity.
Right.
Can't tell her.
I
I mean, it's also Spider-Man for the first couple of those movies.
Right. Said it before and I said it again. Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi one, perfect fucking movie.
It's pretty great.
Stick a fork in it. No notes. Lionel Luthor has a meeting with Pete Dinsmore. That's Neil Flynn. He shows him how Emily has aged 5 years within 11 months and has also gained the ability to walk through walls. Okay. Sure.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Who fucking cares?
Pete guesses that her molecules must be vibrating so fast that they can absorb other matter.
Great guess, Pete. Was that Lionel? Did you say Lionel or Pete?
That's Pete. Pete Dinsmore. Not
Oh,
our
Pete
Pete.
Dinsmore. I was like Pete Ross.
Yeah. Lionel is angry and frustrated. He calls Emily a failed experiment and a huge liability. He threatens to send commandos after Emily if Dinsmore cannot bring her back. Boy, oh boy.
Lionel's got a lot of irons in the fire.
Lionel, go on a vacation, buddy.
He's got so many projects going. You think he ever forgets about him or loses track?
I mean,
fuck, is that the girl I have locked in the warehouse?
I mean, clearly.
Which one is Emily Dinsmore?
Fucking what? Which captured child is this again?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Her dad's the janitor from Scrubs. Got it.
Right. Okay, Chloe and Lana go into the Talon and they are surprised to see it restored to normal. They find Emily, who claims to be the owner's daughter. She tells Lana and Chloe that the Talon will remain a coffee shop and asks Lana to show her the ropes.
Lana just attracts so many creepers. Male, female, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
If there's a creeper in Smallville, they're attracted to Lana.
Just a full creeper magnet.
And it's not her. I'm not blaming her.
I mean, yeah, and there even is a little bit of like a her. What's so great about Lana?
Oh, come on. Lana's great.
I don't know.
Strong disagree.
I'm not saying this is nothing against Kristen Crook. This is against Lana on the page.
What do you mean? She's got her own fucking business.
Ah, man, I guess you have a good point.
She's like doing 17 clubs at school.
She's on the track team?
She's I guess the one like downside to like pursuing Lana Lang is that she does get kidnapped a lot.
So much.
And she does have a lot of trauma. Like that's gonna be
truly deeply fucked up.
I mean, she better be in some kind of therapy if you're in a relationship with her, because you can't, one person alone, non-professional, can't help her with those things.
You don't go through all of those things and come out on the other side, an okay, well-adjusted human being. In fact, you might throw yourself into your business at 17 and in countless clubs just to not sit with your thoughts for a fucking minute. Your bad thoughts of your parents getting fucking shack food on by a meteor.
Or your childhood friend dying. Mm-hmm. Or another childhood friend dying. Mm-hmm. Or another childhood friend dying. Mm-hmm. Only to be cloned back to life and then try to kill you.
And that's from the father. And don't forget about the father who kidnapped you and then put you in a house with a bomb. Poor Lana.
We should have kept track of traumatic incidents for Lana.
We'll get it next time around.
Yeah, next time around, we're really going to do a psychological profile of this person. We should dial up a professional and be like, what would you say about a person who experienced these things? and just list them off.
No joke, my mother-in-law is a child psychologist.
Oh my God, stop. Brian. I mean, I think that should happen.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my
Dad.
God.
We're going to compile everything that's happened to Lana through high school.
Okay, great. So the end of season 4,
Great.
we're going to write everything down and be like, what would you...
Where would you
what would you...
start?
Oh my gosh. We need a dossier on Lana. I will throw myself into that. I will research
Wonderful.
and go back and find out exactly what's happened to her.
Wonderful. Okay. Emily asks Lana if she is sure she wants to leave town. Lana is unnerved, but Emily runs upstairs to show her that they are already best friends. Lana turns to go, but runs into Mr. Dinsmore. He tells her that Emma is actually Emily. He tries to get Lana to safety, but Emily zooms around behind him and stabs him in the back with her hand. She pushes.
Isn't that what happened to him last time? Didn't
think
he get
so.
stabbed in the back with lawn,
I'll be real. I don't
lawnmower,
remember
not
that
lawnmower,
episode
like
well
shears.
enough.
Oh, it's gardening shears.
Oh, right.
I think he got stabbed with gardening shears.
Well, here it goes again. Another time at that old rodeo. This time, I believe, is truly a rap on Neil Flynn on Smallville.
Yes.
He tries to get Lana to safety, but Emily zooms around behind him and stabs him in the back with her hand. She pushes Lana across the room and knocks her out. We got a concussion, baby. Oh, she's also had no less than 10 concussions.
She's had her share. I'm going to get the tally.
Okay. Let's see. Lana wakes up locked in a furnished room with glass walls hidden inside a barn. It's a full, Magneto in the X-Men movies. Cell.
So I'm wondering, did Emily build this glass structure in the barn?
Is that where she was being kept?
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, that's what I assumed.
No, it's a different room. Did she get that from IKEA, the Magneto prison cell, and just throw that together overnight?
Yeah, or she's made friends with Lex, who has a guy in Metropolis who builds Magneto rooms.
I'm just the time frame of she escaped and then threw that thing together. She's like, well, I'm gonna need a glass case to keep Lana in.
That's just step number 1. And did she hire a general contractor who was like, yeah, glass Magneto room, I got you.
He's like, wow, what are you keeping in here? Dogs or something? Some kind of gerbil?
You keeping Magnetos? Got it.
Yeah, I built one of these 2 years back to keep Magneto in super prison. I can totally do that.
Clark tells his mom that he has decided to tell Lana his secret. He says he and Pete are better friends since he found out.
That's a stretch, Clark. That's a little bit of a stretch. You're kind of telling yourself what you want to hear there.
Martha simply says she trusts Clark to make his own decisions. That evening, Clark is in his loft moping, it says here, moping, because Lana didn't show up for dinner. Jonathan comes to talk to him and suggests that there are many reasons Lana didn't show up. He admits to Clark he doesn't think he should tell Lana, but he doesn't trust his instincts the way he used to, and he is starting to feel it is time to start letting go of Clark. This is actually a very good scene.
It is a fantastic Johnny K scene, which was quite the refresher after Lake Placid 2.
After his Oscar-winning work on Lake Placid 2. Placid
He
Day.
was the best thing in Lake Placid 2, don't get me wrong. But here
he was a little bit of corn in that crap.
In Smallville, he is performing.
Yes.
And in Lake Placid 2, he was showing up to set.
Yes. And we talked about it last week, but like John Schneider showing up is stronger than some people who are putting effort in.
Of course, yes, of course.
Very funny.
Great Johnny Casey. Just great.
Just good.
That's what you and I think of when we thought of classic Johnny K. That's the platonic ideal of a classic Johnny Casey.
100%. Lex meets Lionel at his office, and Lionel talks about an employee he wants to promote, but he isn't sure that he can trust him. Lex tries to advise him, but Lionel rips the wire off Lex's chest and accuses him of betrayal. Lex argues that Lionel forced his hand by blaming the Metron murders on him, and he had to protect himself. Lex asks Lionel what is worth all of his obscure projects, and Lionel merely says that he shouldn't have to ask and kicks Lex out. When he leaves, Lionel gets a call from Frank Loader, who reports that Lex doesn't have any evidence against Lionel, but if he does, it will stay buried, and that he is looking into the Ross kid. He is holding a file on Clark.
The file he's holding of Clark has a picture of Clark that it's not like a driver's license photo or a school photo. It's clearly like a family picture taken of Clark. Like a candid. Like, how did the FBI get that picture?
I mean, it's better than what Smallville has pulled for some single episode people, which is just their actual headshot. Clark goes to the Talon to find Lana, and Emily tells him that she left early for Paris. Clark leaves, and Emily goes to give Lana some dinner. Lana tries to reason with her, saying they can be real friends if she lets her out. Emily says that Lana is not a true friend because she didn't save her when she fell in the river and drowned. She tells Lana that no one will be looking for her because they think she's already left. This is like almost kind of good. It's like this storyline isn't good, but like Lana's supposed to be off in Paris, so like no one's looking for her is kind of good.
It's a good touch.
Right. Okay, Lex tells Clark that the FBI is dropping the case against Lionel unless he finds new evidence. They are both on the edge, and Clark asks Lex why he changed Lana's ticket. Lex thinks he's talking about changing it to an open-ended departure date, and Clark says the Talon's new owner's daughter told him she left.
A lot of restraint there from Lex, because Clark, like always, is like so up his own ass and sanctimonious. He's like talking about how Lex isn't honest with his friends or some shit. And Lex doesn't go, fuck off, Clark.
He does get one in. I don't remember exactly what he says, but he gets a barb in.
He does, but I would straight up be like, get the fuck out of my house. If he said that shit to me. After
Definitely.
the shit you pulled, get off my property.
Seriously. Lex realizes something is up because the new owner doesn't have a daughter. Clark speeds to the Talon to confront Emily and is surprised to see her super speed away through a wall. Bum, bum, bum. Lionel meets Chloe at the Torch office, and he asks her to help him find Emily. He gives her a photo. Clark and Chloe meet to tell each other what they know about Lana's disappearance. They realize that Lionel is trying to find Emily before Lex does, because evidence of him cloning people would be enough for the FBI to nab him. Really? I mean, I guess. I guess you do need, like, permits? I don't know how science works.
It would be a scandal.
Yeah, I guess. They figure that Emily is probably... Do we have on the rulebook... Where in the rulebook does it say? Where in the Constitution point to it that says you can't clone people?
I don't think it's in the Constitution, but I think when they cloned that sheep back in the 90s...
There was like some fucking...
They did say it's against the law to clone humans. I think they did say that.
Interesting. That's probably good.
I don't know. Against their will, it should be against the law.
I'll leave that to other people to figure out. You know what?
You can clone your dog? Did you know you could do that?
I did know you could do that. I work a job I had. at a website. The website was owned by IAC, the CEO of which is Barry Diller, who is one of several inspirations for Montgomery Burns from The Simpsons. And he very famously had his dog cloned, so he had a clone of his dog.
I mean, you and I could do it. I think it's probably relatively expensive, but it's like a thing that you can do if you want.
Yeah.
It's not the same dog.
No,
Don't you know
it's just
that?
no.
It's not.
That's a lot of money for like a dog that I guess looks like your dog.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's so weird and creepy.
So weird. Okay. They figure that Emily is probably trying to recreate her and Lana's childhood playdates, but Clark says they usually played at Emily's house. They look Emily's address up online, and Clark speeds away. Emily is forcing Lana to have a tea party with her, and Lana hits her in the head with a teapot and tries to get away. Not a concussion?
It is a concussion.
Great.
I believe it is.
Beautiful.
Because she falls down and she's clearly unconscious. She does catch up to her like 30 seconds later, but it could have been a short
That don't mean brain didn't hit skull. That's all we're looking for.
I'm calling it a concussion.
All right, I'm with you. I second
that brings us to 20 on the year.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad.
Where does that put us up against last year?
Last year was 24.
Wow. All right, we need some heads to get bonked.
Well, but both are way above season 1, which was only 14 concussions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They found out, the writers realized that concussions are a lot cheaper than car crashes. That's what they figured out.
Emily catches Lana. She ties her to the bed and puts a gas pipe through the wall. Lana passes out, and Clark arrives just in time to bust through the glass walls and free her. Weird effect here.
Talk about trauma, though.
Mm-hmm. This would kill you.
Tied to the bed inside her glass prison by her former best friend while she pumps gas in through the vents. Toxic fumes.
That would be bad.
Oh, poor Lana. Can you imagine?
This girl's fucked up. Her official diagnosis is fucked up.
Yeah, just fucked. Just totally fucked.
Emily tries to super speed away, but Clark uses his heat vision to knock down a water tower in front of her. The water hits her like a river and knocks her out. Is that another concussion?
Oh. I'm
if it knocks her out, yeah.
Yeah. Did we establish the last Emily Dinsmore episode that her water was her weakness or some shit? This is like a page. This is just a page from the M. Night Shyamalan playbook. Yeah,
I'm crazy. Nope, just sounds like fuck it. Water, lots of water.
She can morph through walls and solid objects, but not water? Wouldn't water be easier?
Nope. Hell, fuck it. We can get through water.
I know, you just keep running. She's like moving at insane speed. She would go right through that fucking water.
Right. Smallville.
It's almost like it doesn't add up at all.
Almost like everybody wanted to get home that day. Hey, this doesn't make sense. Hey, I want to go the fuck home. So
it's like, someone's like, hey, this doesn't make sense. And then the other person's like, this is episode 21 of 22.
Shut the fuck up.
We're almost done. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Chloe tells Lex that Lionel and Morgan Edge murdered his parents, and Lex got a confession, but Lionel had his memory erased. She says that she taped a confession, but it was erased too. However, she reasons that Lex's money and power can restore it. Lex, he is very goofy.
So it's cheating. Because you have that great mic drop moment where Lionel deletes the message and replaces it with his gloating voicemail, and that's great. But you can't just be like, but she can get it back.
It's with the flippant line of, with enough money and the right password, you can resurrect anything from the cyber graveyard.
Right.
Fuck you.
With Lionel's money and connections, couldn't he make sure it disappeared forever? Also,
Pour concrete in its cyber grave.
Yeah. And then Lex is like, "Oh, this is going to be really risky if you testify or whatever." And she says, "I know you won't let anything happen to me."
Why would you think that?
Also, that's just you just dug your own grave, Chloe.
Uh-huh.
I know you won't let anything happen to me.
You stupid idiot woman.
Like, Lex couldn't even protect himself from his fucking dad.
Let's see. Lex asks why she is just now telling Lex because his psychiatrist and his investigator both met violent ends. She says she can't get away from Lionel by herself, but she trusts Lex to protect her. Lex seems grateful for her help, but worried for her safety. Pete is driving home when Frank Loader pulls him over, saying
This is rough.
This is rough.
The scene is rough, Brian.
It's not good.
Pete, the only black teenager in Smallville, gets pulled over.
And it doesn't go great.
When he wasn't doing anything wrong. And he gets taken to the docks.
Not great. Not great. Not great.
Although I'm wondering, why is Pete driving with the top down at nighttime and it's raining out? It's not raining, but it's like drizzly. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, why? I guess he just wanted the cold wind in his face.
Honestly, it probably makes more sense that they needed this fucking shot. The top was down, and fuck it, it's Vancouver. It's probably raining. Yeah. It's always some version of kind of raining.
Right, yeah. Just rain.
Yeah.
It always just rain.
Okay. Let's see. Pete is pulled over for Frank Loader, saying he has questions about his mother's federal judgeship. He takes Pete to a dock and beats him up while demanding to learn Clark Kent's secret, assuming that Clark's best friend must know it. Wild swing. Had this been any other friend, it would have been a no.
Right. You just had to beat Chloe up until she didn't know anything.
Lex arrives just in time to pull Loader off, revealing that Lionel paid him off to drop the case and investigate Clark instead. Lex orders him to get back to Lionel's case and gives him a transcript of Lionel's voicemail confession. No, I throw out there you're fired once you've been compromised.
Wouldn't you just go to the FBI and be like, this guy's getting paid off?
Right.
Here's the evidence. You're going to go back to working with that motherfucker?
Lex Luthor, of all people, okay with there being an actual turncoat and just be like, hey, don't do it again.
I got you once.
Loader backs off, but remarks that Pete is keeping a secret bigger than Lionel. Lex tells Pete that Clark was right confiding in him instead of himself because Pete is probably a better friend. Pete admits that he owes Lex for saving him from Loader, and Lex is sure that Pete will return the favor someday when the time is right.
What the hell is that in reference to that never comes back?
It never comes back. I don't know. Were they just setting the seed there for something?
Yeah, maybe they would maybe if we bring him back at some point.
I don't know if Pete leaving was on good enough terms. We'll get you back for an episode at some point. And
the only thing I can think of is maybe they want the audience to think that Pete is going to be compromised, but then Pete turns around and is like, Clark, beware of Lex. I'm out. Bye.
Right.
Nah, it seems like a setup to something that they never paid off.
Right.
It really does.
That'll be interesting to hear about if they'll talk about it on the on Talkville.
What's Talkville?
I don't know. Who cares? Pete goes to the Kent farm, and Clark is alarmed that Pete got beaten up. Pete warns Clark that Lex and Lionel are both interested in Clark to some degree and regretfully tells Clark that he can't stay in Smallville anymore because Clark won't be there to save him all the time. He tells Clark that keeping his secret is extremely hard, and he could never forgive himself if he betrayed him. He then tells Clark of his decision to move to Wichita with his mother, where, of course, the FBI isn't, and Lex's large tendrils of resources can't possibly reach the fucking castle of Wichita.
Yeah, how far is Wichita from Smallville? It can't be that far.
Can't be that
It's in
fucking
Kansas,
far.
right? Isn't it in Kansas, Wichita?
Yep.
Yeah.
I even thought it was like Florida. I thought it might take Clark an hour running.
Yeah, there's no reason they can't stay friends. There's absolutely no reason when Clark has super speed.
Though, so what needs to be more declarative is like, I don't want to hang out anymore, which I think is what he's saying. Like, I don't want to see you anymore in fucking Wichita, where no one can get me.
He's like, no, I'm really worried about my safety. It has nothing to do with you, but please don't come visit. Don't.
Right. Clark tries to convince him to stay, but Pete tearfully gives him a goodbye hug and drives away. This made me sad when I watched it for the first time.
Yeah, Pete did Sam Jones III.
Yeah.
Good performance there.
Yeah. I was sad to, I can't say it did much for me this time, but like, I was sad to see him go the first time I watched through it.
Sad to see him go, and then didn't miss him at all.
Didn't think about him. It's like when a coworker leaves a job and you're a little like, oh, for like a minute. And then they're gone.
Like, oh man, I'm going to miss you so much. And then like a week later, you're like, what was that person's name?
Yep. That's just how that works through the history of time. Lana meets Clark in his loft, and they talk about how Emily escaped Belle Reve as soon as she was admitted. She asks Clark what he wanted to tell her, but realizing what just happened to Pete, he gives her a kiss on the cheek and tells her to have a great time in Paris.
That is heartbreaking.
Oh,
that's
so
that
good.
Scene is rough.
So good.
It's all because of Kristen Crook. She's so good. She's so optimistic that he's going to tell her and excited and like, finally I'm going to get to know. And then she knows that he's just pulling the ripcord and bailing on it.
And she's so good at that, like almost teary-eyed, like kind of quivering lip look that they love that shot. They love that shot.
Oh yeah. Well, she's good at it.
I'm sure she could just do it on command by that point, but it works every time.
Yeah.
So Lana looks disappointed and betrayed, as she probably expected Clark to talk her out of leaving for Paris, and maybe even for him to tell her his secret. But she says goodbye and leaves. Question. This might be stupid, like in retrospect, because of course Kristen Kirk would be on the show for many years. Was it possible they were ripcording Lana out of the show? Or was it possible Kristen Kirk wasn't going to return? Was she 100% returning?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. It's a good question.
It's like, it seems like if she wasn't going to, they had this out here.
Right. Because they do introduce Lois in the season premiere. I don't feel like this would have been the end that they would have wanted.
Right. I wonder if it was just that's where I'm like, was it just like, I got a movie? I don't know.
Right. A just in case.
Right.
We cover our asses.
Right. But I don't know. We may never know. Lex goes to Lionel's office again and asks Lionel about Emily. He is soon followed by Pete's not even like the final scene.
No, there's 2 more scenes afterwards.
He gets bumped by Lex and Lionel.
Yeah.
Which I realize we need that to happen for the Lana scene to make sense. But like still, woof.
Well, the Lex Lionel thing is leading you into the finale.
Got it.
So you need to end on that scene.
Got it.
Lex Lionel. You need to, like, Lionel gets arrested. Sorry, spoiler alert for 10 seconds in the future. Lionel gets arrested. You need to end on that mic drop.
I guess that's true.
I guess.
Still sucks for Pete.
It sucks for Pete, yes.
Lex goes to Lionel's office again and asks Lionel about Emily. He is soon followed by Loader and other federal agents who arrest him for the murder of his parents. He is ushered away in handcuffs. Standing in the office alone, Lex closes his eyes in pain.
I think that's a great little scene.
Great little scene.
First of all, Lionel's sitting in his office listening to like opera music. Great, always great.
Always good.
Lex enters. This is an indoor office, and he enters through a hallway of mist for some reason. Just like he comes in. They have a great little chat where Lionel drops this line: Belle Reve has a habit of misplacing its patients.
Right.
And I love that Lex must have told the police, the FBI guys, like, okay, I'm going to go in there. Wait until I drop this really good line on him before you come in to arrest him. Just listen. And as soon as I say you've gotten careless, come on in and arrest him. But not before. Not in the hall for a minute.
Yes.
And then Lionel leaves us with a great...
right.
wit.
I had a question about this. So what Lionel says to Lex, careful, Lex. Judas hung himself with his own rope. Hey, what the fuck does that mean? Is it common for people to hang themselves with somebody else's rope? Like, is that like part of it? Usually, I think, like, do you have to go find her? No, it's usually like your rope.
Wait, that's really true. I didn't think about that. He should have just been Judas hung himself. That makes more sense. But whatever. John Glover makes it work.
Hey, John Glover makes everything work. Whatever you say, man.
Hey, I'm gonna go kill myself, but I don't want to use my rope.
Yeah,
that seems a little weird.
Yeah.
Can I borrow your rope?
That's the thing. You have to get somebody else's rope, or else you can't do it. Unless you're Judas, of course. Featured music this episode, I Don't Know What You're Thinking by Christopher Jack, When the Sun Goes Down by Charlie Mars, and some fucking opera with a long Italian title. I assume we'll get some bigger needle drops tomorrow in next week's episode.
You think the finale?
The finale.
Smallville usually nails the finales.
Usually, so we'll see. Forsaken means to quit, leave, or abandon something. It can also refer to something that has already been abandoned. The title refers to Pete forsaking Smallville following his encounter with Loader and wanting to protect Clark's secret. Lana and Lionel also leave Smallville in this episode. Any other notes? Pete's final appearance, though he'll be credited in next week's season because they're not just taking him out of the... which means he probably got paid still for that finale.
Good for him.
Good for him.
That's how badly they didn't want him in the finale.
I know.
We're just going to pay you because we have nothing for you to do.
He's not in multiple episodes this season. Just nothing. No Pete. Though I guess we don't know if like he wasn't cut.
Right, some deleted scene or something.
Right, because like it's series regular. The whole thing is you're paid by the episode. I believe whether you're in it or not. So that's why they work them in. So he probably shot something. There's a slight goof, when Emily is knocked unconscious by the water. When Clark initially looks at her laying on the ground, her right arm is up near her head, and a few seconds later, it is laying on the ground by her stomach.
Okay.
We got it. In her locker, Lana has photos of Louis Lang, Laura Lang, and Nell Potter. However, no picture of Henry Small, her biological father.
Because he fucking bounced on her.
Right.
Another piece of trauma that we didn't mention.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Throw that on the fucking pile. Let's see. Nothing really interesting in continuity. Spoilers here. Pete Ross will return in season 7. We talked about that. Chloe remarks, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the hallways when she encounters Lionel at the school. This is a play on the often referenced famous tagline of the 1978 shark film Jaws 2, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. I did like... Pete calls Lex Uncle Fester. This is at the top of the show in the basketball scene, and it's very funny.
I like that too. Yep, I was a fan of that. I hate to agree with Uncle Fester.
Yeah. I guess that's everything for this week. This has been the Talon Mix, Smallville Recap Podcast. We're here on Fridays. We miss doing it live. We'll be back to it as soon as possible. We have to do our season wrap-up show. That has to be live.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, hey, maybe leave a nice review wherever you are listening to this. Probably on Apple Podcasts. That'd be nice. That'd be a very nice thing. But I guess that's it for now. We'll be back next week. Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
It would be like 5 out of 5 stars. Fun show. Fun Smallville show. They talk about Doctor Strange 2 a lot.
That's all we're asking for.
Question for the Smallville gods. Hi, Brian, do you have anything? I got nothing.
Did Sam Jones III get a good paycheck for not appearing in the season finale? I don't fucking know. Good night, everybody. Strong ending.